is a field in Gloucestershire they call the Rising Ground. It's been the ruin of many a poor pilot, but thankfully I'm not one.
I'd only heard stories of Eastbach, that it was a mountain with like a windsock on top and runways on each slope, and that it was horrendous. Fortunately, speaking to Tim, who had been there, he said it's a beautiful place.
Okay, why is that? Wait for the camera there.
So at Draycott, we set off. I was parked next to Adrian's Shadow, and we passed over the top of Kemble. All legal, of course, spoken to them, but we are at 3,000 feet, so we're above their zone. As I say, we were over their zone, and then we headed north a bit further to make sure that we passed clear of Ashton Down. There's Ashton Down on the left there, very busy with the gliders, and then further out to the west was Nymphsfield. So we were passing clear of both of those airfields. As we passed along by the River Severn, we had a helicopter pass underneath us, which we can just see. Where is it? Somewhere there. There it is. Can you see it moving across the fields, coming across the river there? And then I said to Tim, you might as well take the lead, seeing that you've been there before, and you can go in and land, and if you survive, I'll give it a go myself. Huge bend in the River Severn there, looking right down the estuary there. Passing over Cinderford. There's the Forest of Dean ahead of us, and there we come up. The cross marks the spot of Eastbach, which doesn't quite look like the Matterhorn, not from the air at least. So we're going to pass just north of it, and we'll be looking right down the runway 09. So let's just have a look at it as the chart looks at it. So there's 09, and as you can see, it slopes up both ways towards like the centre. So continued round. Tim decided to go first. The wind was blowing right from the north, right down 09 more or less. So instead of landing with a 9-knot tailwind, we decided to land on 06 with a crosswind. That's the River Wye there, wending its way down. And here you can just see Tim. There he is somewhere there, just coming up to the runway. There he is. He's on the ground now and rolling up the hill. Now, unfortunately, I had a camera in the cockpit, but the battery had gone flat, so you couldn't get the radio. But his comment was that it's a bit lively, but very doable. So I then positioned to join finals for 06. So just turning from base leg onto 06 here. Coming into sight there. That's there. X marks the spot again. Now I didn't put any flaps down because I was keeping the speed at 60 because of the crosswind, because of the turbulence, and because I was landing uphill. I knew I had to flare aggressively as I came up to the rising ground. So let's see how it goes. Over the fence, or over the stone wall, 06, and flare, flare, flare. Let's hold it off. And no drama whatsoever. And no need for any brakes. Just roll to the top of the hill. And as you can see, you come up to the top of the hill. And looking down the slope. The good indication of just how kind of tall it is that tree there right in the foreground. And you can see as we start going downhill how that seems to be going up, and it's quite steep downhill. This is twice the speed. I wasn't going quite this fast, but you can get an idea of the angle of the runway as we taxi down. Parking up, I could already see that Tim was speaking to Bruce and Wendy, who made us very welcome with tea and biscuits, showed us around the hangars there, where there was a Piper Cub, built 1942, a genuine warbird, flew in northern France with the US Army, also a tractor from the similar area, and here Bruce's Taylorcraft with the Flying Fishes logo on the front, which has been seen around. This Technum, have you noticed the nose wheel there, suffered a heavy landing when it was visiting. So perhaps there is some truth in the warning.
There you are.
Graham was interested in the 360 camera, and here I am showing him how you can see it while in the cockpit.
Incredible.
But it's a case really of just switching it on and doing all the editing later. Taxiing back up the hill, up past the hangar, we're going to take off on runway 01. The other end of 09, so we're into wind. Bruce had taken us up in the vehicle to show us that there's a ramp here, I'll just show you in a moment, that launches people into the air and can catch people out. That people think they're flying, but they've only bounced into the air. So just coming up here, can you see, there it is, that ridge there. So it's about 150 meters into the takeoff run on the 04. So again, something to be aware of. There's Tim waiting already. So I just need to get past him. Let's watch that wingtip. There we go. Just lining up behind him. Just wait a second. Just asked him to just come back on the throttle, so I didn't taxi into the prop wash with my wing until I was turned round. Throttle and moved up behind him. So now we're lined up runway 01, and it's downhill and into wind, so this is going to be easy. And up Tim goes, and you can see before he even got to that hump, he's airborne and he's away. So let's see how I do. Down a bit, get the speed up, and then climb. And you can see what a lovely long runway that is. That's the other end, 19. Turning round and heading west. And looking back towards Gloucester, there was quite a big shower there. So glad I wasn't heading that direction. So as I say, there's the shower towards Gloucester. Coming over the River Wye and the Forest of Dean again. So we're going to separate our ways here. Tim was going back to Newport, I was going back to Old Park Farm. So we'd agreed that he was going to do a fly past and then peel off on his way to Newport. Here he comes. And there he goes. And it was a brilliant visit and a brilliant airfield, but an airfield that really needs respect. So thank you so much for watching. And thanks to everybody who made it such a great day.